So actually, I wanted to just make one observation before I come to two more questions. One is that around the weekend, 27, 28, you had gone public with your predicament, rightly so. But about 3 days before that, if you recall, in a very spurious yet mischievous way, on Passport Seva Divas, some unnamed source of the MEA, again, made a statement at the Passport Seva Divas celebration saying that the passport is not a citizenship document. It's no proof of citizenship. Now, this created huge outrage and debate on public social media as well. And I remember that my organization at my website, Sabrang India, we did an analysis yesterday, legal analysis of the Bombay High Court 2013 judgment that they quoted in that justifying what they were saying after the backlash from the public. And they picked out this judgment that delivered specifically because it was in the case of two persons, one person whose passport had been taken back, matlab under the section of the Passport Act. So it was a particular case where a passport had been taken back by the authorities. And they've used this example to make an en masse application saying that it's not an application of citizenship. That was a particular case where the judicial mind was applied to say that whether that passport was withheld by the passport authorities legitimately or not, and therefore the citizenship was cancelled. And trying to elaborate from that and saying, therefore, en masse denial of passport or denial of citizenship and passport is justified because of the Bombay High Court has said so. So this sort of deliberate confusion and half lies and half truths are carrying on. And I think not just the judiciary, but Parliament needs to step in. Particularly, I feel the opposition, and this is a question I have, because it's a question that has been bothering some of us since Bihar, SIR days. That Bihar, you had a staggering figure of 63 plus lakh people who had been disenfranchised because of the SIR process.
Yeah.
And the opposition had held a People's Yatra and all of that through Bihar. But many of us kept saying that unless district-wise you're able, the opposition, political opposition, is willing to mobilize those people whose names have been unjustly deleted. And we see faces of those people, numbers of those people are mobilized by the political opposition. This becomes just like a debate on social media, which is not as impactful. And I think I'm using this opportunity not to just criticize, but to constructively tell the opposition that unless you're able to mobilize on the question of exclusions in SIR, these number of massive exclusions are going to remain faceless, nameless individuals rather than real people, real Indians with rights that have been deprived. What are your comments on that?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But the thing is, opposition parties have a huge responsibility. But the primary responsibility to initiate this process, I think, lies with the media. These phases, because the media can bring them out far easier. They can do it. Then to bring them together, that the opposition can do. The first step has to be taken by the media. And I've been, especially with the mainstream media, I've been completely disappointed and disenchanted. That is the word they use, because they other than doing an occasional story, I think now the India's mainstream media more or less forgotten about SIR. It doesn't exist for them. So that is the saddest part about it. So other than these three pillars we spoke about, there is this so-called fourth pillar, which is not at all. And this also shows why journalism is so important. In the absence of, if journalism doesn't do its journalists don't do their job, this is exactly where we end up. We always in pit we used to say that media is irrelevant, it doesn't count. But now it shows why media matters so much. By its omission, the media is actually showing its relevance.